Watching the Afia Business Morning, and this is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities, policies and issues affecting businesses and the economy of the Southeastern region of Nigeria. It comes right after Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we will be looking at conversations that I am going to be building upon in the course of the week. And I'll try to narrow this whole time I'm going to spend with you to conversations predominantly, hovering around the activities in the past week in Enugu, special reference to the visit of Mr. President to Enugu and the economic relevance of Mr. President's visit. This indeed will form the basis of our time we're going to be spending here together. My name is Ubong Kings. Welcome. Yeah, welcome back. It's still the Eastern Business Report, and like I did say before the break, we're going to be looking at conversations that I'm going to be working with in the course of the week. And this is going to be about Mr. President's visit. And interestingly, we had a number of conversations here in the studio, and a special reference to a conversation that was hosted by Alex Obodo on the Enugu Kwenu special. And one of the key issues was security. Security was a major point of conversation with reference to that. And the question really was, how well has the Southeast, specifically Enugu State, positioned itself to pretty much be all it should be with reference to being an investment haven? But let's take a look at some excerpts from that particular session, and when we come back, we'll talk a little more.
Day is finally here, Saturday, the 4th of January, the day that is going to see the first official visit of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to Enugu State to commission some of the completed and equipped projects, including the smart green schools, some of the urban roads in the state, the command and control center, surveillance vehicles, as well as the type 2 primary healthcare centers. Currently, we're at the GTC Smart School, where residents are gathered and waiting to witness and observe the exercise. Lots of excitement. Lots of expectation. We'll speak to some of them and find out what they think. And from here, we'll be heading straight to the New Haven Junction to witness the commissioning of that road, which will be symbolic of the 90 other urban roads that would be commissioned today.
Of course, what we know, we understand the Command and Control Center. It's a place where you have, of course, very high-tech, cameras and television set units that are actually connected to the cameras that will, some of those street lights we see probably bear them. You don't even understand how these things are set up. They won't tell you exactly the locations. But the idea behind the Command and Control Center is to have artificial intelligence, you understand? But I'm also going to come to something, because it's also important that we have data. That's the area that I'm coming to. You understand what I'm saying? Because we have facial recognitions. For instance, if you beat traffic, you understand, and the AI is able to capture your plate numbers and capture your image, okay? We should be able to send a signal immediately to the Command and Control Center, and then, of course, those who are in charge of also distributing it to those individual areas, because Enugu is usually geographically delineated. Do you understand? So if you commit a crime at Gariki, for instance, the Gariki area, okay? So the Command and Control Center receives that information concerning the crime that you've committed and your official image. So it sends this directly, for instance, to the Gariki unit. So they are the ones who will have the opportunity of tracking you, perhaps, you understand, depending on the routes that you're taking. And all those AI-guided cameras are also there. So they will track you and stop you on the road, arrest you immediately. Or, like we have in some Western nations, well-developed countries, where you will receive a text message immediately that explains what you have just done. For instance, if it's just a traffic breach, you've big traffic, so you receive a text message immediately telling you what court to appear, or where to go and pay a fine, and it gives you a deadline within which if you don't pay that fine, you understand, you will now be forced to appear before a court. I don't know if you understand. So we need to know that. So the area that I'm coming to now, Alex, now that we have an understanding of how these things work, of course we have the DRS also supervising or supporting the Command and Control Center. Because without the DRS, I understand they've been provided with about 150 vehicles, and that's quite a lot, you understand, to cover Enugu City. I mean, that should cover Enugu, and of course environs, you know what I mean. Why would the president discriminate against any state? I don't believe that it is the right thing to do. And I also mentioned earlier that Peter Mba, who is our governor, as it were, knows how to build relationships, because that's very critical. So we see also that the governor has also demonstrated a lot of latitude in terms of building, you know, and really maintaining relationships, servicing relationship, oiling relationship. So that is what we're seeing today. So I'm not surprised that the president is coming here today. All right, you may have your individual views, you know, I mean, it doesn't change certain facts about the economy, about certain things about the Nigerian nation. But what we're celebrating today is the president's visit.
Anticipated day is finally here, Saturday the 4th of January, the day that is going to see the first official visit.
Yes, indeed, you heard from some of the guests, or rather one of the guests who actually graced the studios here and talked about specifically security concerns and all of that and how it pretty much will affect businesses. But then other conversations that were had during the same period bothered on how Enugu has become the center of attraction and in Nigeria, of course, based off of the fact that the Enugu state government led by Dr. Peter Ndubisi Mba has been able to achieve quite a lot. But then let's take a look at that particular session real quickly.
Sustain what we've begun. You know, in the past, Chimaru Namani began this project of the ICC.
17 years ago.
2007, as soon as he left, it was abandoned. And then 17 years later, it is now completed. Why we had 2 consecutive governments in Enugu State that never paid attention to that project. You understand? Until the current governor took over and then made it also a priority. Now it's ready. And it's going to reap a lot of dividends for Enugu. And I believe what you're saying. I agree with you. I mean, there should be some kind of a public-private partnership, PPP, of how to manage that place. Because if we leave it in the hands of government, it might go the way of other projects. Look at the Presidential Hotel, for instance. That was what happened to Presidential Hotel. Presidential Hotel is almost ready as we're speaking. Look at the extent of work that has been... sometimes, you know, when I go through that route, I marvel at the speed with which... he's a hurricane. He's a hurricane. A colleague of mine described him and says, this man is a hurricane. The way he's moving is just amazing. It excites me, really. And I ask myself, are we in Nigeria or... I mean, have we found ourselves in a different country? So what it means in essence is that even as Nigerians, we can do things excellently. This governor is doing very, very well, absolutely, in my own measure. Because people will begin to look at Enugu as, you know, a destination to come to. As a destination to come to. Let me use a very small town somewhere in Salzburg. I don't know if you've watched Sound of Music. You watched Sound of Music?
Absolutely.
I was in Salzburg, you know, I was in Salzburg a couple of years ago, and it turned out it was a festive period. The people that came into Salzburg from different parts of Europe, amazing. Just to come and see the Mirabel Garden, just to look at the river. You understand what I'm saying? Where the movie was acted. You know, they have what they call the Sound of Music tour. They have the Sound of Music tour. So they have buses branded Sound of Music. So you pay, you understand, and the bus ferries you to all those places where those scenes, they describe those scenes, you know, where the Sound of Music was acted. So I want to see, I believe that Enugu, as small and as big as Enugu is, you know why I'm saying that? As big and as small as Enugu is, Enugu will become eventually, you know, a high tourism destination where people will flow in millions, according to the dream of our government. And of course, that will generate a lot of income for us.
And again, the projects are all within the vicinity of Enugu metropolis, meaning that there is no need for Mr. President to go on an adventure outside of where a guaranteed security dragnets can be created. So logistics-wise, security-wise, it's great for Mr. President. Optics-wise, again, he's come to the southeast. Maybe this will soften the stance of the region towards the party at the center, because you know how it is. People don't understand how fiercely Republican the Igbo political mindset is.
These are the issues we're going to be looking at in the course of the week, from issues of security, how it affects businesses, or how it will affect businesses in Enugu State. We'll also take a look at maintenance culture with reference to these projects and how it would either mar or make the development strides of the present administration. And these are two core issues, but then we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the other issues that I'm going to be looking at in the course of this week with reference to Mr. President's visit. You're still watching, of course, the Eastern Business Report live from Enugu State, Nigeria. Kindly join in on the conversation. You can watch it live right now on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Do have to type in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do want to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. And just so you know, the Eastern Business Report continues in a bit. Stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back to the Eastern Business Report on the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria, and I am Ubong Kings. Other key issues that were looked at with reference to Mr. President's visit bordered around the economic relevance of Enugu State in the Committee of States as far as Nigeria is concerned. And we did take also a sneak peek of some of the projects commissioned and the thoughts of our studio guests. So let's take a look at this particular session real quick.
You might not like him, you might hate him, but we know that he governed the state that we could say is #1 state rated to today. And we could see clearly what his footprints left in that state. Lagos is a state we could call a nation, a country inside Nigeria. There are a lot of masterpiece projects you can actually ascribe to him. So you can't just bring him to Enugu State, without having to do your due diligence. And I'm pretty sure his forerunner, whom you just mentioned, the vice president, must have briefed him on doings and goings on in Enugu State for him to accept, to come to Enugu State to be part of that commission of those projects. I don't think anybody will take it that we are not doing something serious. That's the simple truth.
It's very cowardly. They run away from trouble. And when you assure security, development, and give value to their money, to be your friend. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for this one that you've done today. We are grateful indeed.
Watching the formal inauguration of the Command and Control Center here at the Government House of Enugu State, where the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, is here with the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, and of course members of his administration.
30 completed and equipped Enugu Smart Green Schools, 60 completed and equipped Type 2 primary healthcare centers, completed multi-auditorium and multi-functional Enugu International Conference Center, 90 completed urban roads in Enugu City, state-of-the-art command and control center, 150 patrol vehicles fitted with AI embedded surveillance cameras.
So there's so much to take away from it. The optics for the Nigerian nation, the optics for the Enugu State government. Of course, this international center, a conference center, people are watching and seeing, and a lot of people are already planning to begin to have their events. So it's going to be a money puller for the Enugu State government.
All right, absolutely. And we're still just reveling on the nice, very iconic pictures from the Enugu ICC. Just like Dr. Ayanoka said that he can't wait to attend a function there, that if they don't invite him, he will invite himself. Dr. Basi, will you invite yourself?
I've already invited myself.
So, I mean, I'm sure you can't wait to get into that conference.
Yes. I think I've taken him, as an inquisitive monkey, I've taken a tour with all of the officials of the state government, and it's a nice place to be home. So I think this venue is wonderful. This is a place that can have capacity of up to 2,000 to 5,000 persons.
The funny thing, sorry, let me actually butt in here if you don't mind. There are several halls.
Yes,
it's a very large hall, that can hold the capacity like you mentioned. But you also have options of also breaking into smaller halls. So that's just the unique thing about it. It has a cinema too.
Yes, it's a beautiful place. It has a mall by the side.
It has a mall.
So it's something that Enugu people, just like with the era of ShopRite, Spa, we knew what actually where it elevated Enugu. Enugu became a tourist center. So I expect that Enugu is going to be a tourist center. And coupled with the fact that His Excellency had promised to revamp the opposite of our unit, Obara Square, we believe that that place will be a very beautiful place to behold. So I think we can't wait to begin to use that environment.
Motivation to move, like the hurricane is, to move even faster, to achieve more, so that you have an opportunity of inviting the president again to commission more projects. That is what I see. This will be like a zest, like those in the medical field will say, when you pump somebody with adrenaline, what happens? The person becomes more energized. So I believe that this visit will give more energy, more bite to the actions of the governor to pursue, with greater zeal, these dreams that he has drawn for Enugu. Recall what I talked about, International Conference Center, the effect it will have on, on those who are into restaurant business, those who are involved in tourism. You can have tour guides. You have people who will gain. Same thing I believe applies, but then I'll allow him to also, make an interjection in regard.
So I think when these things are put in place, our people will benefit so heavily. If you take a look at our entertainment industry, I think for some of us who are in Igbo land, let me not talk specifically for Nigeria, we know that our Nollywood actually will say it has a heavy bite from Enugu here. In the first, we can say it's a novel that was actually acted by Peter Doche, actually originated from Enugu. So I think whatever is happening today is going to catapult us into a bigger space in the world. And if our children are meant to go through smart school to learn, in the next couple of years, we will see smart kids, we have seen children, and I'm expecting to even see talent hunts, being staged in Enugu very soon, because the ICT center could give a privilege where people could come to demonstrate talent on. America Got Talent, British Got Talent, we have South African Got Talent. We can actually host similar things, and we have got a whole lot of presenters that could actually do that. So I believe that whatever is happening today is going to catapult us in ICT, making the place to become more secured. It's going to create, allow the tourism, it's going to allow people to come in and invest. And then when investment comes, it translates critically, to job creation. So I believe that today, once the whole thing is commissioned and we move on, we are going to see more jobs.
Oh, well, we'll take, all these conversations are things that we'll be looking at in the course of this week on the Eastern Business Report. And just so you know, on that note, I dare say that this will be the size of the package in today's edition of the Eastern Business Report. And you're still watching the Afia Business Morning live from Enugu State, Nigeria. You may want to kindly join in the conversation and be part of everything we're doing on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Coming up next will be the segment we call Onya Afia after this time out. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.